A spider crawls onto Peter's body. It bites hard into his neck. But Peter doesn't catch anything, so he doesn't think much of it, because he still has to rush to catch the subway. On the subway, Peter falls asleep, which attracts the attention of a group of troublemakers. Seeing Peter sleeping so soundly, they place a beer bottle on his head. A drop of beer slides down and falls onto Peter's forehead. Peter springs up instantly. Everyone is stunned. Peter is also confused. When he sees beer spilled onto a woman's clothes, he hurries over to apologize. But his hand sticks to the woman's shirt. The troublemakers can't stand it anymore. They're ready to teach this kid a lesson. One of them shoves Peter. Peter quickly turns around, still apologizing to the woman. But his left hand sticks to the metal pole. The troublemaker feels humiliated and angry. He charges straight at Peter. Peter instantly kicks him aside. This triggers a group fight. Peter suddenly moves as if he has a sixth sense. He reflexively knocks down everyone who comes at him. He keeps apologizing as he fights. In just a few seconds, everyone around him is on the floor. Peter looks at his hands, shocked by what just happened. He rushes home. Uncle Ben and Aunt May are still waiting for him. He's about to explain everything, but then he suddenly reaches into the air and catches a fly. Peter stares at the fly in disbelief. He can't understand what's happening to him. The pain on the back of his neck makes him reach around. He feels a thin, tough strand of web, and hanging from it is the spider from the lab. It seems everything today happened because of this spider. The next morning, even stranger things happen. Peter holds a toothbrush in his left hand and accidentally rips off a faucet with his right. He's completely stunned. His hearing becomes incredibly sharp. He can even hear a spider crawling. But he has no time to think. He rushes to school. At that moment, the school bully Flash is playing basketball. A ball knocks over a barrel of paint. The entire poster is ruined. A girl complains to Flash. Flash tells her to watch herself. Peter walks over to comfort the girl. Then the ball flies toward him again. Flash comes over for the ball. Flash has bullied Peter many times. This is the perfect chance to get back at him. Peter holds the ball near Flash and tells him to take it. Flash reaches out, but Peter quickly moves the ball to the other side. Flash tries again, but Peter plays him like a joke. Peter even covers his own eyes and tells Flash to take the ball, but Flash still can't grab it. So Peter gets sent to the office and a parent meeting is called. Uncle Ben is extremely upset. Peter fears he'll have to pay for the broken backboard. But Uncle Ben cares more about Peter hurting someone's dignity. Before leaving, Uncle Ben reminds Peter not to forget to pick up Aunt May. Seeing Gwen, the girl Peter secretly likes, Uncle Ben gently hints that Peter's computer wallpaper is her photo. Peter feels embarrassed. But something subtle develops between the two. Peter can't believe how much his life has changed in one day. Later, he goes to an abandoned warehouse. He tries climbing the walls like a spider. That night, Peter returns home. He sees Uncle Ben waiting at the door. Peter had forgotten to pick up Aunt May. Uncle Ben is furious because Peter's selfishness forced Aunt May to walk a long distance alone. Uncle Ben brings up Peter's father. If you can do something good for others, you have a responsibility to do it. That's what matters most. It's not a choice, it's a responsibility. Mentioning his father makes Peter angry. He never knew his father, so why should he follow him? Peter storms out and slams the door. He goes to a convenience store to buy milk. But he's short on money. The clerk mocks him. If you don't have money, leave. Peter turns to leave. But the man behind him is a thief. The thief steals money from the register and runs out. The clerk chases after him. Seeing Peter, he begs him for help. Peter says, "That's not my problem." At that moment, Uncle Ben is searching for Peter. He sees the thief drop his gun. Without hesitation, he tries to grab it. Peter hears a gunshot. He rushes near the fallen man and realizes it's Uncle Ben. Peter cries out for help, but it's too late. Police arrive at Peter's home. When Peter sees the suspect's sketch, he feels a wave of shock. It's the same thief he let go. The next day, Peter stands on a rooftop supporting himself with just 2 fingers. Then he flips off the edge of the building. In mid-air, he shoots a web from his homemade launcher and lands safely. That night, he uses a police radio scanner he built himself. He listens for reports and hunts for criminals. He puts on a red mask and black goggles. He sprints and leaps off the building. In mid-air, he shoots a web at a helicopter. He quickly reaches the area where a criminal is hiding. He shoots a web and yanks the suspect to the ground. Then he pulls open the man's sleeve. He checks for a star-shaped tattoo. Then he disappears. Back home, Peter immediately researches materials for a suit. Using his ingenuity, he creates a red and blue spider costume. Wearing the suit, he swings through New York City. And that's how the Spider-Man we know was born. One night, a car thief is trying to steal a car, but he runs into Spider-Man. The thief pulls out a knife. Spider-Man falls to his knees, pretending to beg. Then he fires a web and sticks the thief to a wall. The thief panics and screams for help. Spider-Man covers his mouth. Then he pulls up the thief's sleeve. No star tattoo. This isn't the guy. The police arrive. Peter hands the criminal over, but instead of thanking him, the police point their guns at Spider-Man. Peter dodges the bullets, complaining non-stop. I helped you catch a thief. More police arrive. Spider-Man swings away. Meanwhile, Kurt refuses to use an unstable serum on human subjects. So Oscorp fires him. Unwilling to abandon years of research, Kurt sneaks into the lab and retrieves the serum. He injects himself. The pain knocks him unconscious. When he wakes up, his missing arm has completely regrown. He's thrilled, but the flawed serum begins corrupting his nerves. When he learns his boss plans to test the serum on disabled people, he rushes out to stop him. In the taxi, Kurt's right hand begins to mutate. Scales start growing on his face, and his emotions twist into rage. Peter is visiting his girlfriend Gwen at her home, and Gwen's father is Captain George Stacy. When they start talking about Spider-Man, Captain George believes Spider-Man is a dangerous vigilante. Peter is upset. He argues that Spider-Man actually reduces crime in the city. The atmosphere at the dinner table suddenly becomes awkward. Gwen then brings Peter out to the balcony to get some fresh air. Facing the woman he loves, Peter finally gathers the courage to tell her his secret. Just then, distant sirens break this warm moment. Peter can't ignore it. He flips over the railing and leaps from the 20th floor. On the New York Bridge, Kurt, who has turned into the Lizard, is searching for his superior. He has become extremely aggressive, throwing away every car that stands in his way. Fortunately, Spider-Man arrives in time. He shoots webs to keep a falling car from dropping, saving everyone inside. At that moment, Lizard Kurt starts shedding his skin. Spider-Man tries to capture him, but a man shouts that his child is still in a car. Spider-Man chooses to save the child first.
Tienimi la maschera. Bravo. Jack?
Sì.
Gasoline begins to leak from the vehicle. As Spider-Man struggles to free the boy's seatbelt, the car suddenly erupts in flames. The web holding the car burns away. Peter barely manages to grab the vehicle with his hands, but the situation is dangerously unstable. The boy puts on Spider-Man's mask and crawls toward Peter. The car finally plummets. At the last second, Peter shoots a web and catches the boy.
Jack!
The child is saved. The boy's father thanks Peter. In that moment, Peter feels the true weight of responsibility. Peter arrives at Kurt's lab, only to find it completely empty. Only a mutated lizard mouse remains, gnawing on others of its kind. Peter immediately realizes Kurt is the lizard. He rushes to the police station and reports everything to Captain George. But Captain George doesn't believe him. He already formed a negative view of Peter the last time they met. He thinks Peter's claims are nonsense and has him thrown out. Still, to be safe, he orders his officers to investigate Kurt. Peter enters the sewers to search for the lizard. He shoots webs to form a massive spiderweb trap. Soon, one of the threads trembles, catching Peter's attention. He moves forward carefully. Suddenly, the lizard charges out. Within seconds, he overpowers Spider-Man. He raises his sharp claws and slashes Spider-Man hard. Just as he's about to pull off Peter's mask, Peter punches him in the face and dives into the water. He uses his smaller size to slip through a pipe and successfully escapes. The lizard finds Peter's camera. He removes it and sees Peter's name. Cut to a toilet lid rattling violently. The floor collapses beneath it. A claw reaches out from inside. A giant lizard creature crawls out. Peter knows it is coming for him, so he tells Gwen to leave first, while he stays behind. But the lizard easily pins him against the wall. He steps on Peter's hand. Without his suit, Peter can barely resist. Luckily, his backpack isn't far. Peter shoots a web to grab it, but the lizard kicks him away. Holding a chemical container, the lizard growls, declaring that he will transform everyone into lizards. A shoe suddenly hits him in the face. Peter reappears in his Spider-Man suit. He shoots webs and jumps onto the lizard, trying to reason with Kurt. But Kurt, overwhelmed by his mutated instincts, won't listen. Peter seals the lizard's mouth with webs. Enraged, the lizard swings his tail at Spider-Man, but Spider-Man catches it. The lizard grows a new tail instantly. He grabs Spider-Man's head and slams it hard against the glass. Gwen seizes the chance and hits the lizard with a baton. When the lizard turns around, Peter takes the opportunity to fight back, firing countless webs and wrapping the lizard completely. Peter tosses Gwen out the window, securing her with webs to keep her safe. Spider-Man and the lizard clash again, fighting their way into the library. Spider-Man crashes into a wall. When he stands up, the lizard is gone. Following the clues, Peter finds Kurt's secret base. Kurt plans to release the serum through the air and turn all of New York into a world of lizards. The lizard walks toward Oscorp with the serum. Officers surround him and open fire. Kurt releases the serum. And the officers begin transforming. The lizard climbs the building and smashes through a window. Gwen is inside working on the antidote. Seeing him enter, she hides immediately, but the lizard still finds her. She blasts a flame at him, but it does nothing. Still, the lizard only takes the serum and doesn't harm her. Spider-Man races toward the lab. He must stop the lizard and save Gwen, but he is stopped by the police and falls after being hit by a stun gun. Captain George removes Spider-Man's mask. Peter quickly fights back, knocking down the surrounding officers. Captain George raises his gun and orders him to stop. Peter slowly turns his head. Captain George is shocked. Peter is Spider-Man. Peter explains the danger. He must save Gwen. He puts his mask back on and rushes off again. With a bullet wound in his leg, Peter struggles to run. Oscorp Tower stands kilometers away. He doesn't know how he can reach it. Then the construction cranes all align across the street. The father of the boy Peter saved is helping him. Peter seals his wound with webbing and leaps off the building, swinging through the New York skyline. Gwen escapes with the antidote. She meets her father, Captain George. She tells him the antidote must be delivered to Spider-Man. To stop Kurt's plan, the lizard reaches the tower. He loads the serum into the device. 2 minutes until launch. Spider-Man races toward the top. He kicks Kurt away, but Kurt grabs him. They engage in close combat. Spider-Man is no match for Kurt. Kurt pins his hands and crushes his web shooters. He removes Spider-Man's mask. Captain George fires at the liquid nitrogen pipes. Coal vapor bursts out instantly. Peter grabs the pipe. Captain George covers him with fire. Peter uses the freezing gas to attack. Together, they push the lizard back. Peter takes the antidote and climbs toward the tower, but the lizard regains his strength and strikes Captain George, piercing him with a claw. He charges toward the tower. To stop Peter, Peter replaces the serum with the antidote. Just 1 second before launch, the antidote spreads into the air and bursts like rainfall. The lizard slowly turns back into human form, his strength fading. The tower collapses under the freezing pressure. Without web shooters, Peter barely clings to the ledge. At the critical moment, Kurt, now human again, reaches out and pulls Peter to safety. Peter arrives at Captain George's side. George is dying. He returns the mask to Peter. He makes Peter promise to stay away from Gwen. Peter agrees to his final wish. Captain George passes away peacefully. With great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man must bury his feelings and silently protect the world he loves.